This is 13 WHAM News on Rochester CW in high definition.
If you shop online, and most people at least shop a little bit online, some people shop almost exclusively online, the question is it fair? A lot of times you're not paying taxes, or the retailers are not paying taxes, and there's concern that maybe that's hurting local brick and mortar stores that do have to pay taxes. Joining us now is Michael Kercheval, talking about online retailers, what they pay and what they ought to pay. Good morning.
Good morning, Evan. Thank you for having me on.
Michael, a lot of consumers will say, I just want to pay the lowest price, and why do I care if the online retailers have to pay taxes or not? If they've got to pay taxes, maybe I'll have to pay more for what I'm shopping for online.
Well, first of all, it's the consumer that pays the sales taxes, not the retailer. Right. And in New York, it's absolutely required, whether you purchase an item in a local store or purchase it online, you as a consumer have to pay the sales taxes. The local brick and mortar retailer, they collect the sales taxes for you. The online retailer doesn't. So what the consumer sees, of course, at the point of purchase is a lower perceived price. When they buy something online, they forget that they have to pay those sales taxes at the end of the year when they file their New York State income tax. And there is legislation right now in place that we believe is going to be passed very soon that will give the power back to the states to require out-of-state retailers to collect sales taxes when they sell to consumers in Rochester or anywhere in New York and other states across the country, leveling the playing field between our local stores and the online retailers. Then they can compete on service, quality, selection, not just the perceived final price, which should be the same anyway, we believe.
Now, just make sure we understand the impact here. Do you believe that there's enough evidence to say local brick and mortar stores are being impacted there are very deleterious effects on actual brick and mortar stores on this, huh?
Oh, Evan, it's absolutely devastating. I mean, you can see it in Rochester. You see it all around the country where local retailers are going out of business because they can't compete. And overall, retail sales are rising, so something's not right. And the fact that there is a price disadvantage with the local retailers, that's creating a big part of this problem. And it spills over into the local shopping centers or the people who own the buildings on main streets downtown. And that spills over into jobs. You know, it reminds me that one of our studies has shown that job creation from $1 million of retail sales at a brick and mortar stores creates 4 jobs. $1 million of sales at an online retailer creates 0.8 jobs. And in the Northeast, in fact, across the country, we want to create jobs. We don't want to lose jobs. So this is yet another way to make sure that we keep our downtowns vibrant, keep our local stores healthy, create jobs, and really make sure that the fabric of our communities that is so much tied to retail stays alive. And it's not a new tax. It's not raising prices. It is simply shifting the collection burden to the online retailers, a burden the brick and mortar retailers already have.
Yeah, I have actually talked to store managers and store owners of bookstores and small stores in the Rochester area, and they agree with this. I've only got about 40 seconds left. I'm up against a hard break. What do you want people to do? Where can they go for more information, and what do you want them to do?
Well, first of all, this legislation is going to pass. When Congress gets back after recess or after the election, it's important that we have the consumer and public support behind your legislator. We have bipartisan support for this legislation. For more information, they can also go to our website, which is icsc.org, on the issue, and continue to shop. It's back to school and then to the holidays.
Thank you very much for the time this morning, Michael. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Evan.
All right, we'll be right back with local news headlines on this Thursday morning.